Good morning, Max. Max? Milk? What? If I don't have a glass of milk before I go on stage, I just can't function, sweetie. Stage? Don't worry, there won't be a stage. All you have to do is sit down. I guess. Nick, Max is really nervous. That's understandable. Hey, my sweeties. What? You don't think I should fly, do you? Huh? You know, you've got to make a good first impression. When I enter the room, maybe I should try my... maybe I should fly in and warm up the crowd a little. No. We can't be having you flying around the courtroom. I guess that sentence makes sense, but I've never read a sentence like that. It just wouldn't be right. Imagine if you hit someone. Don't worry, Max. Just do what Nick says and everything will be okay. Oh, sweetie. What is it this time, Max? Why don't you try flying into the courtroom? It wouldn't have been the weirdest thing Phoenix has ever done. I can see it now, the dashing young lawyer flying fabulously in from above. One glimpse of that, and everyone in the room will be on your side. Max, really, no one needs to fly today. Nick, what's with that look in your eyes? I like the sound of that. Dashing young lawyer flying fabulously. Nick, please, don't. No, you can't. You don't know how to magic? Not yet, anyway. Okay, then. Thank you, Von Karma, for not making me use the judge voice right now. Oh, sorry, I just realized that the defendant's name is Billy Bob Johns. So... Well, isn't the defendant also known as Maximilian Galactica? Yes, Your Honor, he does often go by that name. You know, my grandchild is a huge fan of his. I think everyone here wouldn't mind if we called the defendant Maximilian Galactica. It sounds more friendly. Billy Bob John sounds as friendly as you can get, buddy. I wonder if that is to our advantage. Miss Von Karma, your opening statement, if you please. I hope you didn't bother thinking you'd win this one, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Yeah. That spirit channeling trial was a sham. I refuse to acknowledge its legitimacy. But it happened. And you lost. There was no spirit bullshit going on. You know it. I know it. Everybody knows it. I won that one. Don't be a sore loser. It did not count. Do you hear me? She must still be upset about what happened last time. You have no chance. Zero, zilch, nada. I'm not losing this case. Why, you ask? Because it is not in the nature of a Von Karma to lose at anything. You lost the last case, and I sent your father to prison. Pretty sure you lose a lot. I guess being born with the name Von Karma is a free pass to be arrogant and annoying. Watch and learn, Mr. Phoenix Wright. I'll show you the textbook procedure for proving how absolutely guilty you are. Me? Guilty? What are you talking about? It will be my ultimate revenge. Her dad is gone, you know. The prosecution is finished. Let's hurry up and wrap up this waste of time. You may call your first witness, Miss Von Karma. Please don't whip me again. Detective Dick Gumshoe, get up there now. Yes, ma'am. Sorry to keep you from work, as I'm sure you need every penny you can earn, Detective. Don't mention it. It's no trouble at all. I've been looking forward to this. Very well, I would like you to begin by shedding light on the events in question. At your service, sir. All right, Detective, you may proceed with your testimony. Tell us what's up, Gumshoe. I also never got the autopsy report. The night of the crime, snow was falling until 9:40 p.m., making it extremely cold out. All of the circus performers gathered in the big top to practice their routines. The practice session broke up at around 10 p.m. The murder itself took place in the plaza in front of the lodging house at 10:15 p.m. The victim was found bent over a wooden box, dead as a doornail. The cause of death was blunt force trauma that snapped a vertebrae in his neck. Shit, man. That's harsh.
I see. He was beaten to death.
Here's the autopsy report for the victim.
The court accept this into evidence. God fucking damn it. A blood object. Very well, Mr. Wright. You may begin your cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honor. Be my pleasure. Being smug towards this smug. Alright. Was it now? Was it absolutely that way? I don't think it was. Let me ask you about the snow. It was nearly a blizzard up until the time of the crime. Did it pile up? It wasn't such a big deal. Maybe about 1.5 inches was on the ground. But you just said it was a blizzard. That doesn't make sense. The snow froze in place and stayed on the ground until the next day. The snow... Let me see. There's gotta be more to this. Oh, what's the matter, Nick? I need to take a look at the court record. Do I? I don't think I do. You can't tell me what to do.
Mr. Gumshoe, what were the members of the circus doing on the night of the crime?
Yeah, that happened. Yeah, that happened. I want to hear more about this wooden box. That's right. The victim must have been carrying the wooden box when he was killed.
Carrying the box, huh?
It was a rather strange wooden box, Your Honor.
What do you mean?
Well, it was much heavier than it looked, not to mention it was locked.
Locked, you say? Why was it locked? Does it have a human body inside?
This may be my only chance, so I might as well ask some questions. I want to know about... Number 3, the contents. It was a body. It was a body. I know it was a body. Do you mind telling us what was inside the box? Well, when we found the box, it was locked tighter than Fort Knox. So we took it back to the station and cracked it open. All that was inside was a little bottle.
Bottle? What is that, Detective?
Exactly what it looks like, Your Honor. It's a condiment bottle. What's inside the bottle? It's filled with pepper. Pepper?
Why in the world was it locked in that big box?
There's only one little bottle in that huge box. I wonder if that has some sort of special meaning. Probably. Pretty much just gathering information on this round since we don't really... Like, we have a lot of stuff, but there's way more stuff that we can get. According to the autopsy report, the murder weapon was a blunt object, correct? You've done your homework, pal. And you haven't found this murder weapon, have you? The police are searching for it as we speak. My theory is that it is something the perpetrator ran off with.
You would think so, especially since you didn't find it on the scene.
No, I bet he made it disappear with magic. Gumshoe, don't joke about that. I'm defending the magician here.
Well, I think I have a good feel for the details of the event now.
I guess that's all we're going to get out of Gumshoe in this case. Better lock him up in the basement till the next case. You mean all we're gonna get out of him is that little bottle of pepper? Now that we have wrapped up with the detective, I'd like to call my next witness.
I'm not even off the stand yet.
Obviously, but that's due to you being slow and unable to take a hint.
I don't know, but wrapped up has such a mean sound to it. I'm a sensitive guy. Thank you very much, Detective Gumshoe. You may step down. Miss Von Karma, call your next witness.
I would like to call Mr. Benjamin Woodman to the stand.
Oh, she must be talking about Ben, the ventriloquist.
I wonder if Trilo will show up on the stand as well.
Well, considering they can't go apart with each other.
Please state your name and occupation for the record.
My full name is Trilo Quist. I'm employed as an opera tenor. Excuse me, but the witness called to the stand was one Mr. Benjamin Woodman, ventriloquist. That row must be cutting off your circulation. I said that I was a singer.
Maybe you don't believe me. Fine, I'll grace you with a song.
Me, 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 me. The world of the law, exciting and daring, guilt or innocence, decided by a judge dressed up like a woman.
Well, what do you think?
It had good rhythm. It's just the lyrics. They leave something to be desired, so to speak. Trilo, you know better than to insult a judge.
Shut up, just look at your nose. You would think you'd have the sense to fix it.
It's so ugly I want to punch you in the face on the off chance swelling would help. You know that your nose is the reason you'll never be an A-list star? Celebrities must really enjoy saying everything that flashes into their minds. What's going on here? Order! I demand to know who the witness is. Don't worry about me, sir. I'll let Trilo handle this. I'm not worried about you one bit. I'm worried...
You won't get anywhere trying to figure out the witness. Now let's proceed.
Just let Ben do his best. Once practice was over, I left the tent with the clown. Once we got to the lodging house, I ditched him and went over to the plaza. That's when I saw Max heading towards the scene of the crime. He was the only one heading that way. How could the punk not be the killer? Then the police showed up and took Magic Boy away.
You saw Maximilian Galacticus heading towards the scene. You're sure of that?
Without a doubt, he had on his silk hat, cloak, and the dumb white roses on his chest. How can you mistake someone with that crazy get-up and his nose stuck up so high? Oh, that's enough. I think we all get the picture. Just one thing. You said you ditched the clown. That's right, dress boy. Well, since you weren't with him, couldn't that mean the clown committed the crime? Well, he's got a point.
What a shame. It was a nice theory, but the clown can't be the criminal.
Why is that?
Here's absolute proof.
A silk hat.
This was found at the scene of the crime. It belongs to the defendant. Without question, he was wearing his signature hat during practice. If the clown was the murderer, there would be no reason for this hat to be at the scene.
Well done, Miss Von Karma. Your prosecutorial skills are unrivaled. Well done.
Except for by Edgeworth. Infinitely better. Thank you for stating the obvious. Mr. Phoenix Wright, what do you have to say?
Oh, okay. I guess she's the boss again today.
She's always the boss so long as she has the whip. She could be my boss any day. All right. He was the only one heading that way. How could that punk not be the killer? You saw Max and only Max, right, Trilo?
That's right, and that makes him the killer. There was only one person heading that way that night. That makes quite a bit of sense and makes Max the one suspicious character.
There's more to this story than meets the eye. Is there something amiss in this? There's always a problem. But Ben only saw Max? That's a bit strange, don't you think?
What's strange? That you only saw Max. Doesn't it seem like you should have seen someone else as well?
Where are you going with this, Mr. Wright? Who else do you suppose this witness could have seen? He sees a lot of people daily.
He should have seen Mr. Russell Berry. Yeah, exactly.
That's the victim.
That's correct. If Trilo was at the entrance to the plaza, he should have seen the ringmaster as well. Obviously, the ringmaster arrived at the scene of the crime before the witness could have seen him. Anyone with a sense could have figured that one out. What are you talking about? The ringmaster and Max went together to the ringmaster's room. Is that according to the defendant? A likely story. If Maximilian Galactica was supposed to be in the ringmaster's room, why was he, just as the witness stated, at the scene of the crime?
I see. It seems that at this stage I have no reason to doubt the witness's testimony, and there are clearly no conclusive contradictions.
He's right. A brilliant judgment, Your Honor. Now let's move along with the testimony. Trilo wouldn't happen to have an ulterior motive for incriminating Max, would he? Well, Max is part of that bitter love triangle with Regina, which is probably why Max conked him over the head. Nick, wasn't Ben the one who got knocked over the head? Yeah, I think so. I don't know anymore. They kind of bleed together. I mean, who the hell is Ben anyway? All I see is a little puppet. The clown. You're talking about Mo? Of course I'm talking about that old fart. He's so pathetic I can't stand him. Just a little bit of exercise and his makeup's running all over the place. Once practice was over, he was 9/10 of the way to keeling over for good. Poor guy. We didn't have any choice, so Ben took him back to his room. When it comes to being a first-place loser, that guy's head of the pack.
Then what happened?
Oh, what did you do then? I went over to the plaza to do some thinking. It was awfully cold out that night, especially with all the snow around. Wouldn't thinking in your nice warm lodging house have been a better idea? Mr. Phoenix writes, I think you should leave the thinking to the witness. But I'm a good thunker. At least my teachers always said I was. I didn't realize that it reset on me. Around what time did the police arrive at the scene? I suppose it would have been around... Hey, what time was it? I think it was around, I'd say a bit after 10:30 p.m., I think. Practice ended at 10 p.m., so you hung around the lodging house the entire time. I guess that sounds about right. Wasn't it awfully cold? I can't believe you just stand around outside and then in that weather. Well, the truth is, will you shut up, you big-nosed dope? Why are you telling him anything extra? Why can't you believe that we just stand outside in the weather? Well, maybe you were waiting for someone. What? Who said we were waiting for someone? Mr. Phoenix Wright, we can all do without your offhanded theories. But this witness, he's cracking under the pressure already. I'm onto something.
Mr. Wright, who do you suppose the witness was waiting for out in the cold that night?
He was waiting for Miss Regina Berry. 16 years of age. Jim Hanson's over here. He's asking them to take a seat. Well, if he was waiting outside in the cold, it was for one person. And one person only. He was waiting for the animal tamer, Regina. You were waiting outside for Regina to come back to the lodging house. Am I mistaken?
Is this true?
Well, You can't really ask me that question. Who cares who I was waiting for that night? What's important is what I saw, don't you forget it. Well, the puppet may be a bit stiff, but he's right. Nah. Alright. There's obviously a reason why this witness was there that night. He spent all that time waiting for Regina to arrive. Moreover, even if someone else would have walked right in front of him, I doubt he would have paid them a second thought.
That makes perfect sense.
What did you just say? The witness saw the defendant at the scene of the crime. However, he did not see the victim on the way to his eventual demise. If you accept that, then you must accept that there is a high likelihood that he could have missed someone else other than Max heading to—
Ow. Please, Von Karma, can we just— Bailiff, can we get rid of her whip?
There's absolutely no proof that the witness was waiting for the animal tamer. I guess you got me. Alright, I'll spill the beans for real this time. It's true, I was waiting for Regina. Don't volunteer things.
Mr. Quist, tell us the truth this time, and I mean the whole truth. Were you or were you not waiting for Regina at the entrance to the lodging house?
I was. I was waiting to propose to her.
You were what? When did propose?
What's the matter? You think that humans have a monopoly on marriage?
The matter of puppet marriage is not under review in this case.
You're the judge. I mean, look at your horrible outfit. Thanks to your bumbling, my perfect plan is not so perfect anymore. Now we have to waste time getting to the bottom of some silly proposal by a puppet. Yeah, that's how these cases usually go with me, Von Karma. You'll learn to love it. Don't be so surprised I was going to propose to Regina. I even had something to give to her. I kept it in my pocket waiting for the chance to propose and give it to her. Of course, I already had it in my pocket that night. It was a present for her. In the end, I wasn't able to give it to her, so I've still got it in my pocket. Do you now?
You are going to propose? You, a puppet? My head is starting to hurt.
Don't be so obtuse. Just because I'm a puppet doesn't mean I can't love.
I guess you're right. Just because I'm old doesn't mean I couldn't propose to her too.
Judge, please, no, there's... You can't. His honor is looking a little less than honorable right now.
Okay, Mr. Wright, continue with your examination.
Did you hear that? His eyes seemed a little wistful. You better watch out, Maya. Alright. I even had something to give to her. What did you have to give to her? You know exactly what I was going to give her, numbskull. The only thing I could find that could match Regina's beauty. Answer his question. What was it? You're gonna die when you hear this. It's an engagement ring. Wow, those two nearly fell out of their chairs. Well, Franny over here isn't sitting down. I know that much. She's just that short. Mr. Phoenix Wright's joke has gone too far. Time for this to end right now. Francesca's whip looks like it's about to lash out at almost anything. One hit from that thing will probably shut someone up for a long time. Pain equals bad. No, push on through the pain and the tears. It may be something of a joke, but this is a historic moment. The first time that a puppet has ever proposed to... I advise you to cut this argument short. You're not my advisor, Von Karma.
I'm going to have to agree with the defense here. Will the witness please revise our testimony, specifically about the engagement ring? I'd like to stick to facts, not sociology.
You sure do enjoy sweating the details, especially for a man in a black bathrobe. Alright. Yeah. Wait a minute. You weren't able to give it to her. You've got it in your pockets. Do you have the pocket? Do you have the pocket in your ring? Or do I have your pocket in your ring? Trilo, do you mind if I show you something? What is it? What are you talking about? Oh, looks like they're going to double team me now. Do you recognize this ring? That's mine. Give it back. Thief. Didn't you just testify how this very object, I believe you said, in the end, I wasn't able to give it to her, so I've still got it in my pocket. Why then do I have it right here? I like to imagine they have to continuously just find his parts and just bring it back to Ben every single time he does that. What is going on here? That's... Ben, say something. Don't put me on the spot like that, Trilo. I found this in Money's room. Money's room? You mean a room they put money, like a bank vault? That filthy monkey is going to get what's coming to him. Mr. Quist, I would prefer if you avoided slandering innocent fiats in my court. Well, Your Honor, Money is really a monkey, in every sense of the word. Oh, I see. Well then. Money likes to go after the shiniest things he can find and gather them up. Shiny things? Like your bald head. Trilo, when was this ring stolen from you? Well, I suppose it was that time, that night, the night of the crime. What did you just say? Details, I need more details. Well, it was stolen right after Max showed up in the plaza. Right about when you saw the defendant walk past. Correct. Ben, your way of speaking is infectious. Well, I guess you might, be able to say that. The ring might have, well, it could have been taken around that time. Ben, what's with you? Oh, whatever. It has nothing to do with anything, especially not who committed the murder. Well, it's not for you to decide what has to do with what. Now, Trilo, back to the topic at hand. I haven't admitted a thing, not I, Mr. Trilo Quist. What did you do when the ring was taken, Trilo? You know exactly what I did. I chased after that ring, snatching monkey money. But you weren't able to catch up with him, were you? It's all this slow, loafy fool called Ben's fault. While he was fumbling his way through the snow, that dumb monkey was able to get away. That is indeed an incredible shame. Well, this does indeed prove one very important point. Prove an important point? What point can that possibly be? Ben does not exercise enough. Ben's testimony has a flaw. There's this huge contradiction in this witness's testimony. Contradiction. The witness just testified to the following effect. Up until the police arrived, he didn't move from the entrance to the plaza. However, the witness just stated that he chased after Money the monkey. When the witness was off chasing Money, there was no one watching the plaza. What is the meaning of all this, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Where are you going with this little theory of yours? I'm saying that there is no possible way that this witness saw the plaza the entire time. That's where I'm going with this little theory, which leads me to my next point. Hammer it home, Phoenix. Grab the bat and just swing all away. It is entirely possible that someone other than the defendant was at the scene. Interesting, Mr. Well then tell me, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Do you have any proof that something slipped past this vigilant ventriloquist? Well, he obviously didn't see the victim, the ringmaster, arrive on the scene. However, that doesn't change the fact that he saw the defendant arrive. The witness is lying. He is blinded by his rivalry with Max.
Well, the defense's argument does hold water. This witness does have a history of animosity towards the defendant.
What? How dare you? I wouldn't lie just to get that dork face in trouble. He's not even worth it. I saw him, no doubt about it. I swore I saw that worthless liar.
Well, just for clarity's sake, let's flesh out exactly who you saw on that night.
I've told you so many times you'd think you'd know my story's not changing. You've already changed your story, stick boy, and I'm sure it'll change some more. Where there's one lie, there are usually many more behind it. Exactly, Maya. That's why we have to keep after him. Well, I can't use lies beget more lies as this episode's title, since I already did that 2 episodes ago. Thanks, Wright. And Maya. Ruining my shit. I'll give you what I'll give you that I was waiting that night for Regina. But that doesn't change the fact that I saw Max in the plaza that night. He showed up after I had been waiting there for about 5 minutes. I said good evening to him, but he didn't even acknowledge my presence. I'm absolutely sure it was him. I saw Maximilian Galactic at the scene. There's no way I could mistake someone wearing those 3 ridiculous symbols. So that means that Money didn't show up until after you saw Max. That's right, Money ran up less than a minute after I saw Max. Then Money snatched the ring and you went chasing after him.
How long was it until you came back to where you were waiting?
Well, let's see. I'd say about,
I suppose, 5 minutes, I think.
So the victim could have arrived on the scene in that 5-minute stretch.
Mr. Wright, please proceed with your cross-examination.
No problem, Judgy. I'll crack this case. No problem. And then I'll burn this stick boy. Trilo, is it not true that you had a fight with Max on the day of the murder? A fight? A fight over Regina, to be exact. It wasn't that big a deal. It was just an argument, a disagreement at most. A disagreement usually doesn't end with someone getting clonked over the head. That morning, Ben got clobbered over the head by Max, didn't he?
What? Is that an admission of assault and battery?
Before we handle that, we should wrap up the defendant's murder charge first. The truth is that on the day of the crime, the defendant and witness had a huge fight. There is absolutely no way they would have suddenly become cordial that evening. Moreover, just consider the personality of the witness on stand. There's no way a puppet this lewd would just sit up and say good evening to his rival. Well, he hasn't said anything that's been overtly lewd to me. Like in my eyes. He hasn't started holding anyone's hands. Are you saying this witness is lying? That he is trying to frame the defendant by claiming to have seen him at the crime scene? I didn't tell a single lie, honestly.
That's enough from you, Mr. Quest. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. Let's clarify this testimony for the court. Could you explain your theory about who the witness actually saw that night?
He didn't see anyone. He's fucking nuts. He saw the defendant. He saw a different person. Obviously. It is my belief that the witness did indeed see someone that night.
It was just someone else. That's who he said good evening to.
What kind of theory is that?
The correct one. Furthermore, I don't believe the person the witness saw was Max at all.
What?
If he had truly met Max that night, there would have been no greeting at all, which means there is only one proper answer. The person the witness saw that night was not Maximilian Galactica. That is why Trilo made the effort to greet whoever it was that he saw that evening. Or good evening, as he put it. Even though it was far from good, it was pretty cold.
What in the world? You.
Will the defense kindly explain who it was Trilo saw that evening, then? Well, there's really only one possible answer. And that is Mr. Russell Berry. Considering the ill temper of this witness, there's only one person he would greet.
It must be Regina.
It's Regina, right? She's so cute.
No, Your Honor, it's not Regina. If it was Regina, Trilo would have given her the engagement ring as a present.
Oh, yeah. I suppose you got a point there.
It was Russell Berry, the victim himself, was it not?
You are correct. It was indeed Russell Berry. The person you saw that evening was the victim, the ringmaster, Russell Berry. That's why you greeted him, Trilo. Isn't that correct? Answer the question, Mr. Quist. Well, I can't answer it if he's, like, everywhere. So, well, we just done killed the witness. Wait a second. Well, at first I thought it was the old man, but once I got a better look at him, it was obviously Maximilian Galactica. I think it is high time that we clear the air about this question. Mr. Quest obviously witnessed a single person in the area of the plaza that evening. The problem is identifying exactly who that person was. Was it Maximilian Galactica? Or was it the ringmaster, one Mr. Russell Berry? The prosecution argues that it was the defendant and that the witness saw that night. The witness has clearly stated that he saw the defendant's three symbols. Three symbols? Alright, this is getting old. Come on, man, you've got to remember them by now. Here we go again. Everyone, all together now. Yes, we know the silk hat, cloak, and white roses. Even though there's no way and nobody else could have just put on the cloak, the hat, or the roses except for him. A silk hat and a cloak, anyone could wear them. They'd even look good on me. What was that? Well, the witness has endlessly repeated that he saw Max's three symbols. However, how do we really know it was Maximilian Galactica? It could have been someone else dressed up as him. In fact, I've had a case like this before, when exactly as as I'd expected it to, and it's going on exactly as it's going on now. It's weird, strange even. Possibly even Russell Berry. What? Ms. Von Karma, do you have a clear evidence that the person the witness saw was the defendant? Well, if that's the case, then it is impossible for me to make a judgment at this point. I mean, we pretty much could have just said what Phoenix just said and just cut out, like, 35 minutes. Yes, I think we finally won a point in this one. That is very unfortunate. You're just a little too excited for your own good, Mr. Phoenix Wright. What do you mean by that? You merely established one thing from this witness. You established that this witness saw one person in the plaza that night. I applaud you on your effort, but who that person was can only be answered by the next witness. Your Honor, the prosecution will provide, beyond a shadow of a doubt, an answer to that question, and evidence that clearly establishes one thing.
that there is no one other than Maximilian Galactica responsible for this crime. Damn, her smug meter cannot be stopped.
Very well. The court will take a 10-minute recess. During that time, I request the prosecution prepare their next witness. Court is now in recess.